Hello and welcome back. It's time for another episode of Chit Chat with Two Teas. As usual, I am your host and counseling psychologist, JL Valdez, and with me today is a new friend, a new special guest, Mr. Kevin Humphrey. Yay! How come you're clapping for Kevin, Ricardo?
Clapping for myself.
Yes.
Hi, JL.
With friends like that.
All right.
If y'all couldn't tell, Ricardo is the one who would have orchestrated this time. So we will be acknowledging him at various times throughout the episode. Okay, he's very unimpressed with us right now, but that is his business, right? So how you doing?
I'm good. A bit tired, but good.
Yes, let's see what they have here. Anyway, we'll talk about what you have just now.
There you go. How are you?
I am well, tired as well. Is that not the common theme with adults?
I feel like since COVID,
Yeah,
that's been our theme.
we're just adulting.
And nobody told us about this. Like,
We were told lies.
I want to return on this switches because
I need to speak to a manager. I need to speak to a manager.
So-
Yeah, it's not working for me. But how would you? I mean, I don't want to. You have several titles, so I don't want to go into what they are. But you could tell us a little bit about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Kevin. I am 40 years of age. Say that I'm 40.
Just out here looking like not 40.
Camera, thanks.
You heard the man. Yes.
I would have attended school with Ricardo presentation college exam.
Look at him. All right. Okay. All
Where's
right.
Kevin? Kevin is, as my friend says, I am a highly functional mental case. Because I think a lot of people in Trinidad are mental cases because we don't have a choice but to function.
Right.
Because we need to live.
We need to live.
I sing, I act, I do not dance, but I can hold movement. You teach me something. I can
Yeah.
hold a
Yeah.
movement.
Step ball change. Yeah.
I play
Had a beret?
instruments. The waltz, two step. I sing, act, dance. I do stage management.
Okay.
I also was a personal assistant for a lot of my
Okay.
large part of my life. Because I'm good with organization.
Right. Okay.
Don't ask me to organize my own life,
Right.
but other people's lives. Ooh, I got you.
Yes, physician, heal thyself. Shoemaker always has to wear shoes. I get it. Yes, I am in need of seeing my therapist. So I get it. Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much Kevin. I am very direct and very honest,
Mhm.
which sometimes rubs people which most times rubs people the wrong way.
The honesty is key, but I guess it's the delivery of said
I'm
honesty.
working on that because,
Yeah.
as they say, it's not what you say, it's how you
Yes,
say it.
yeah.
Sometimes saying, that's stupid doesn't really sound that well.
You remind me of a friend.
Like, work,
Yeah.
how's about we look at it from this angle?
Good job.
I'm working
Reframing.
Work in progress.
I like that. You're never too old to learn. Because a lot of people don't recognize that actually the majority of communication is actually paraverbal, as in not what you say, but how.
Mhm.
So, I mean, body language is a thing cool, but you see our tone?
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, I'm glad that you mentioned that because one of my previous jobs was as a call center customer service agent.
Yes.
One of the things that made me good at my job was the fact that I listened.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that even if you're not in front of somebody, you can hear a change in someone's mood.
You can.
and the way that they speak.
Just like you can hear when someone answers the phone with a smile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in working there and then going into stage management, which according to the person that trained me, Miss Tonya Evans, is best stage manager.
Hello.
Hi, Tonya. She always says that stage management is more people management or personality management because when you're working on an event or you're working in a space with 15 different personalities, the way that I would get you to respond to me is not necessarily the same way that I would get Ricardo to respond to me.
Facts.
So sometimes it's about understanding that balance and knowing that I might have to shout at this person, but this person I may have to caress them a bit.
Yes.
And that person I could just be direct with them.
Yes.
So I've done a lot, I've worked a lot, and I think all of these things have worked for me.
Excellent.
Create who I am.
I mean, we're gonna get into that.
Yes.
Because that really is there. Like more layers than an onion. Like you're layering.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the layers are
Just like
layering.
an onion, when I start to take out the layers, you're gonna crack, girl. I'm sorry.
So we are here again at the Perfect Bite in Vistabella, Point of Pierre Road, right? So big up Perfect Bite, big up the Perfect Bite team. This is just absolutely, hey! We love Shan and we love Sarah and we love Sophia. So it's been really good here. This is, I think this is Vistabella's best kept secret, honestly, because I was surprised to learn that they've been in existence, operating here for about 4 years. And yeah, and I'm like, I didn't know. But there's so many people. We've been here and the traffic has been crazy.
Yes, it has. It has
been crazy. So clearly, I'm saying best kept secret, but other people know. Anyway, the point is we're here at the Perfect Bite and we're glad to be here.
We are.
And so we're going to talk about what we have today. So I decided to go cold today. I like to mix it up a little bit, right? So I have this cucumber juice, right? It's so cute. Has a little mint leaf and the pearl blueberry antioxidants, want to keep it clean, keep it classy.
It's gorgeous.
And it's like
just like you took the words out of my mouth, yeah.
So that's what's in my cup, and it's tasting real good. I'm not even lying. It's tasting great. It took all my willpower to not drink this.
Drink the entire thing. Mm-hmm. I can imagine that's what's been happening with me with this. Yeah.
What do you have in your cup?
So I am a coffee. I will not say addict. I'll say aficionado.
I can say it for you.
And right now this is just an Americano. Because I had a really late night and a really early morning, so I need to keep up.
Yes.
It's an Americano with no sugar, just black coffee. It's a dark roast. So it's wonderful. Let me just take a sip of this one.
Like honestly, people who drink coffee black, I kind of wonder about y'all, but
yeah,
but like somebody always tells me like but that's how you're supposed to drink coffee, and I'm like okay.
There's a guitarist that I used to work with, and
he
always says you're not supposed to enjoy the taste of coffee. He says coffee is to keep you up. If it tastes nice, it's to keep you up.
I'm gonna live this life. Like I'm sorry, Jesus died for me. And he does not want me to not enjoy the things that I drink.
But I will say the reason I started drinking black coffee was because of theater.
Okay. And staying awake.
There you go. Because you'd have a show that finishes 9-10.
Yeah.
Then you'd have a 6 a.m. call for the next morning. Mm-hmm. You gotta be up.
I have to be up.
You cannot go on stage and
can't remember your line.
Nobody ain't paying no money.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So that's when I really started getting into coffee through Glenda Collins,
right?
Who is my mentor.
Big up you, Glenda Collins.
And then I just fell in love with coffee.
I have a friend of mine. He was on last season. He was our Tobago guest. That's Jared Primer, and he is out of Tobago. He's a director, and he was saying like he doesn't know like what is survival without it. And he has 2 young children now, so he's like even worse, So he's a huge coffee fan. He's a self-professed coffee addict.
Listen, I don't drink instant.
Yeah.
That's not it.
You're big and you're bad when you
I don't drink instant.
Okay.
I have a percolator.
You better. You have a French press too?
I used to have a French press.
Hello.
Because my mother was washing it and it dropped out of her hands.
Oh my gosh.
It's fine.
Yeah. Is it? We're talking about it today.
Not really, but I have had coffee from Jamaica,
right?
Coffee from Brazil, coffee from Belize, coffee from Argentina. I love coffee.
And you're drinking all of it black?
Sometimes I'll put creamer, not milk.
Okay.
Because coffee is already a diuretic. I don't need no more help. But a little creamer, sometimes a little sugar.
Right.
Depending on where you go in the world, you go somewhere and they'll be like, oh my God, you need to taste this.
Yeah.
Try it because it's coffee. So I'm not an alcoholic.
You're right. You're a coffeeholic.
Yeah, something else. But
coffee cake too? Or is it specifically
coffee? Tiramisu is coffee cake, isn't it?
Yes. It has coffee in it.
To have tiramisu back in the day, but I haven't had tiramisu in a while.
Well,
I saw it here today.
I was about to say, here at the Perfect Bite, they have tiramisu. And they have like tiramisu because I see they have stuff with like lady fingers, which is traditional. Like they're on it. They're on some upscale, high class stuff here.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, we digress.
Come to the Perfect Bite, trust
So that is what's literally in your cup. What is figuratively in your cup? What's going on with you?
Ooh, girl. How much time do we have?
Listen to me. You better know it. You better know how much time you have.
Kevin is, as I said before,
This is so good.
Kevin is, you know, a highly functional mental case. I will be very honest and say that I do believe that I am manic depressive.
Okay.
I do operate in manic splits. I do.
So we say bipolar now. Okay, but it's okay because you're 40.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I will come and entrance.
Me too.
Not C. But yeah,
C is trash.
and I'm gonna be really honest with you.
Yeah.
Over the past, let's say 5 to 10 years, I've been finally learning how to deal and live with it.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, a girlfriend of mine that I actually used to work with in a studio, we went to a river, we chilling, and we were talking about something.
Because you're from Trinidad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about something. And she was like, well, why are you so angry? And I thought she was talking about the situation we were talking about. I was like, because and then she waited until I was finished, and then she said, Kev, that's not what I mean.
Wow.
She said, you're just angry, like all the time.
Yeah.
And it was really, I don't want to be cliche, but it was a eye opener, because it's one thing to know that you're angry all the time, but it's something else for somebody that you consider to say, friend.
Because it means that other people are seeing it.
Exactly. She's like, friend, you know.
Yeah.
And it was at that point that I started taking an actual stock of myself and working through everything and identifying triggers and identifying things that get me mad and what I need to do and what I need to not do, and staying away from that dark hole.
Yeah.
You know, and when going to that dark hole, finding ways to come out of it and stuff like that. So it has been a journey. Kevin is still on a journey. He is still on a journey.
Is he the person for me?
Girl, it's theater. You speak about yourself because you're speaking about a character.
Yes.
But he is growing. He is learning.
Yeah.
He is honest about how he feels now, and honest about the things that he's dealing with, and understanding that all of this is just a part of life and there's no shame in anything that he's going through. So literally that's where Kevin is right now. That's
2 mouthfuls. But it is so honest. It is, you know, I'm really appreciative of your vulnerability in this space, which I guess is fairly easy for somebody in the theater. You're not accustomed, you know. But it's 2 ways you can look at it, I guess. You're accustomed portraying the vulnerability of someone else, right? Not necessarily yourself. Yes. Right? But then also you have to be able to access that in some way. You know, to be able to do that, even if it's for a character, right? But it's also interesting that you talked about your anger and having a friend recognize it, because I always tell people when I'm speaking about mental health or doing psychoeducation about it, for men in particular, mental health issues such as depression it usually presents as irritability and anger, right? So we feel a bit like, oh, why are so many of our young men so angry, or why this person so angry? But is it just anger? Because anger is the tip of the iceberg for a lot of people.
There you go.
Right? It's the tip of the iceberg. But then when you go beneath the surface, it's this huge mass that has so many other things.
I don't want to tell you how to run your interview.
Oh, thanks.
That's not my secret.
Isn't it?
A little later, I don't want to preempt.
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about is something exactly that I want to talk about.
Oh, that's fine. So listen, the beauty of this is the flow. So even though we have segments, things come in when they come in.
Because that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Specifically
that's
relates to the concert that Ricardo told you that I put on.
Yes.
So that's why I say we talk about that a little bit.
Okay, well, you know what? And as we segue, you want to tell me about your concert that you put on last year?
Oh, well, wonderful. No, that's asked. You know, so Tonya Evans, who I work with, she's like, somebody listened, and she's like, well, wait, you could sing. Well, you don't know your life, you have money to make.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, I don't know.
I mean, make that money, huh?
And then she's like, why you don't put together some songs? So I was like, Tonya, if I put together the songs, I'm putting together an entire set. And she's like, well,
put together an entire set.
The thing about Tonya, though, is that Tonya she don't let you give her half-baked nuts. She's like, what story are you telling?
Which is what a lot of people don't understand about things like a musical set. It's not just, I have a repertoire and I'll sing songs.
And she was like, I understand. She said, why are you doing this show? What is the reason? Yes, you can sing. Yes, you get a band. But there must be a reason behind it. There must be something that's going to make people say, you know what? I want to go and experience that.
Yeah.
She sent me back to the drawing board 3 times with my set list. She's like, yeah, so check that again. That's what she was saying. Never take out what, but
dang, Tanya.
Check it again and come back to me.
Yeah.
But I respected every minute of it because it was in doing that I came up with the idea of At My Table.
Yeah.
The premise of At My Table is the fact that as people, we enjoy happiness. We enjoy happy, we enjoy enjoying,
it's lovely.
We enjoy partying,
yeah.
we enjoy having fun. But there's a whole other emotion that we don't deal with.
Yeah.
Sadness, depression, anger. And as you said before, generally anger is the first thing that especially men will go to. I like to say that's because we haven't been taught how to deal with our emotions.
That is true.
So you find that men think that showing vulnerability or showing their feelings or showing that they're sad about something or hurt by something makes them less of a man.
Weakness.
I told, and I think I said this to Ricardo, I said I wanted to create a space where people could come and feel free to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this, I understand the emotion. So bear with me.
That's okay, that's what the space is for.
And so I went to Tony and I was like, Tony, this is what I want to do. I said, because I think we need it. Because we talk a lot about how our boys are going this way and our girls are going this way. There's so much crime and all of these are, oh, the government had to fix this and this one had to fix this and this one had to fix that, but we're not teaching people how to deal with the first basis thing, which is your emotions. Because it is from your emotions that you react.
Yes.
If you learn how to deal with it, then your reaction will be different. So I did it was a switch thing. So the first half is soft, sad music. Literally. It's music that's gonna make you cry, music that's gonna make you bare your soul, music that's gonna be like, yeah boy, I remember when I was having that situation and I was feeling exactly that way.
When I get at Tabanka.
You know, and what I did as well is that it wasn't just me standing on a stage and singing. You got calypso, you got drama, you got theater, you got
it was a production.
Other people, you know. There was no host. I specifically didn't do a host. I wanted it to run one into the other because I wanted the story to be told through the music. I don't know how well I accomplished it.
Did you go to the show? Are you saying that because you're his friend and he went to the same school as you?
I literally have that. I asked the entire show. And I have it on my laptop right now.
Okay.
I kept it so that I could watch it over and go through that same story.
So 10 out of 10?
11 out of 10.
11 out of 10.
I will give myself 7. Because
perfectionist much?
I'm a perfectionist, number one. And number two, of course, the audience would know, but there were so many things that went wrong still.
Right.
You know? And the thing with me is that if I'm going to give something, and Ricardo can underline this, I will work until I'm sure this is perfect. Especially if it's something that I am creating on my own. I must be proud with what I'm giving you. Now, as a creative, you're never really proud. You know? You sit there and it's like everybody's like, oh my god, that was so great, and then you're like, no, on the
finally giving voice
flat on that.
Giving voice to Ricardo because you know.
But a lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people, you know, afterwards said, you know, Kevin. Some people who didn't even come to it, they, you know, reached out and they was like, hey, you had a show and it was really good. And like, oh, no, thank you. Like, you know. So hopefully, if the universe and life permits, it will be something that I want to do every year, and I really do want to make it a space that people can come and feel your feelings. That's literally what I want you to do, because as I said, we don't allow people to feel it.
We stuff it down. I mean, culturally
we do.
You know, we're still
really,
not
really do.
As expressive as we are. We could tell you, and I always like to use these examples when I'm, you know, doing education. You know, we say so much and we say nothing. How you going? I there, poke, no be, fight and get fight. I there normal. What does that mean?
A whole set of nothingness.
Listen to me. I use real words and I have told you nothing.
And the thing about that is indicative of exactly what I'm speaking about, because you're saying all of this, but you still haven't shared with me what I asked you. How are you?
How are you? What's up?
How hard is it to say I'm not okay?
It's really hard because we don't create that space. And now, even though we're trying to do it for, you know, men and women, women feel more comfortable. And I guess it's because it's more innate for us, we're encouraged to express our emotions.
There you go.
And men aren't. You know, so even though that is changing, it still hasn't changed.
It's changing, you're very correct. But I will say that we're not going to see the change in our lifetime.
You feel so?
I don't think so, because it's now become a culture.
Cultures are hard to change.
And bear with me while I segue a bit. I tell people that carnival is a culture of sexual impropriety.
Yeah. No lies.
They just get mad when I say it, but it's the truth. This is what we have built.
Yeah.
It started as one thing. Now again, I'm not bashing carnival. If anybody want to come for me, I'm not bashing it. But I'm saying,
don't come for him until he calls you.
Thank you. And I will. But because of the fact that we have created that, there are people that are trying to change it back to what it was.
Yes.
But it's going to take a while, because now the most logical thing is this culture of sexual impropriety that we have created. Listen to the music.
Yeah.
Look at the costumes.
Yeah.
All of these kind of things.
I also don't think when something has changed that way, it could ever really go back to what it was.
There you go.
Now, you can have an evolution where you can bring some of that back. But will it go back to, you know, what it was, and, you know, farewell to the flesh, and the, you know, coming out of that and telling these stories, and no, I don't think it will look exactly like that.
And then, oh my God, then that speaks about the fact that we no longer tell our stories.
No,
that's what carnival was about.
We tell stories. Is the kind of stories we tell. We tell the story.
Right.
We are a storytelling people. We are storytelling people. Is the kind of stories we tell.
And it's the truth, you know. So now I will say that there are, just like always speaking with everything, even in carnival, there are organizations and bands that have come out that are trying to, revert, or not necessarily, let me not use the word revert. They are trying to rekindle what we had, but add with it the newness that we are in now. And I think that's brilliant.
You mean carnival bands?
Yes.
Like Lost Tribe.
Look, I wanted to say the name, but
well, we had Shari. We had Shari Winchester.
I saw your necklace.
Well, this is actually Nicolette Howe. Right? Pick up you, Nicolette. Right? So she also does this. But Shari Winchester is one of the designers of Lost Tribe, and she was in our previous episode from this season.
And the thing about Lost Tribe, again, oh my God, we're segueing so much. This is how it is. This is how it is. Because of the fact now that they have so many young designers that come from theatre, and the history of what we are, they are now incorporating both things, and it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. It really is beautiful to see.
And once upon a time, just not too long ago, people would have said there's no room for that. If it's not bikini and beads, we don't want it. But look how many people enjoying the cloth.
Everybody in
heat nothing
down the road.
You understand?
They do a whole section in black.
Yeah.
And people
bought it.
So but so that is what I'm saying. I do believe that the change is happening. Yeah. But honestly, and I stand to be corrected, I don't think we'll actually see the change. We will see things that are happening to make the change. But I don't think we'll see it.
And part of that is because it's not just our culture, right? So we have our culture, but then we also have the wider world culture, which still pushes that type of mentality. As much as it is also trying to say, well, it's okay, man, express your feelings, be vulnerable. There's still like, you doing that? Are you really strong? Like, are you a strong man? Like, strong men don't do that. So we're still managing these things.
There's still there is a I'll very loosely call it a little bit of brainwashing that's happening.
Yeah.
Men, where men are taught that you have to be hard, can't cry, don't complain, take it on your back. No dog. All that's gonna happen is that you're gonna get pressure problems and heart problems.
Factual facts.
You know.
Yes. So set yourself up for a stroke.
But that is where the idea for At My Table came from. I'm going to continue doing it.
Yes.
Once I can, once I have the space. If 10 people come, that's fine.
You will get more than 10. I actually didn't know much about like the live performance space, and that's telling a storytelling through a set until I attended the Vonette Bigfoot show.
Oh my God.
Isn't she amazing? Big up you, Vonette. Happy belated birthday.
Big up Vonzie, love you, V.
Vonzie.
She's a beautiful, 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 beautiful human being.
Yeah, she is.
I met Vonette on Facebook.
Yeah. She's that kind of person.
And then she invited me to sing a duet with her at one of her shows.
You see? And you mashed up the place fine like Chili Baby.
We've been buddy.
She's really nice.
She is really an amazing person.
Yeah.
We have lots of those, yes.
So we talked about, the culture and how it's changing, and the fact that we don't really give men that space to be vulnerable. It sounds a little like a pet peeve. Would you describe it as a pet peeve?
Oh yes, girl, I have plenty peeves.
Well, let's talk about that.
That's one.
And what boils your water? Tell me about that pet peeve.
So as we mentioned, that is one. The idea that let me make it even more general. Let's not only talk about men. The idea that somebody thinks that it's okay to tell somebody else how to feel or how to be or what to do irritates me to no end. Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Like literally, who do you think you are? You're a parent.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
So that's one of my pet peeves. What else annoys me to no end? Being late. I used to work for an airline.
There we go.
They teach you that if you're on time, you're late.
You're late.
If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time.
Yeah.
I hate people waiting on me.
Yeah.
I also hate having to wait on people.
Same.
I will leave you. I will.
I believe it.
As I've gotten older, you now get 30 minutes.
Oh, that's
used to be 5, 10.
You're so considerate.
Maximum was 15. And me had standing outside in the sun. No. Especially if you don't call.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I feel like that's the thing. It's just about being considerate. You know, so things happen. You know, I might call you. Oh gosh, I run traffic or something. But I just stand up here waiting on you.
I've heard of tell people it will take 5 seconds to send a text. I'm running late.
Yeah.
Send.
And then, you know, predictive text will save you.
There you go. The other thing I'll talk about is when you don't allow me to finish making my point.
Oh, Ricardo felt that in his spirit.
No, because there's a thing that we do in Trinidad where you and I would be having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like you'd say, Kevin, you know what? I prefer this cucumber drink to your coffee.
Yeah.
Because I think this cucumber drink is sweet with a nice little bit of mint. And then the
ginger.
from the
Have ginger in it?
and the ginger.
It has ginger in it? You see it?
You did. And the little blue from the berry gives it a lovely look.
Yes, yes.
And then I say, well, you know what, JL? I don't really agree. But how you could not agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a chance to tell you, so why you not give me a chance to talk? And then I say, well, because, you know, in tasting the coffee, I realized that I taste the hints of, but I taste in hints of. Yes,
And it can't talk yet.
We do that a lot in Trinidad.
Yeah, we do.
A lot.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm not proud of how I react to situations like this.
Yeah.
Like, so you're not letting me finish, what? You're not letting me finish. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people will say, not to cut you, but. And they're cutting you, cutting a course.
If you're not going and cut me.
Then just don't cut me. Don't cut me.
I don't want to cut you, but.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're cutting.
But you're cutting, so I guess that's what we're doing now because you're cutting. Yeah.
And then to add to that, I don't like to speak over people. I hate it. Hate it. So then when I'm trying to tell you, yeah, but, and then I have to be like, are you going to let me finish my point? And then you're like, oh,
yeah.
Well, all right, sorry for getting you mad. Yeah, you're getting me mad. Sorry.
That man.
Sorry. But those are some of my pet peeves.
So how do you manage that? Because I mean, I don't know if it's true, but there is, I guess you call it a stereotype about theater people or creatives and that they don't really stick within structures. So how does that work? That's the world that you work in.
Yes.
Yeah, how does that?
I curse a lot.
Call time is, you know, call time is 1 p.m.
and you're rolling in at 3.
Yeah.
Is my watch wrong? No, I do. In stage management.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to some of my coworkers last night.
Yeah.
This might sound very bad. But when I first meet the cast or the people in the show, whatever, my introduction is, hi, my name is Kevin and I cuss plenty.
I like that you put it out there.
Please don't let me have to cuss you. Plain talk bad manners, because I believe that if you are advised beforehand, you have the tools to make good decisions.
To be forewarned is to be forearmed.
But if I don't tell you to discuss, and then you're saying and I just can't that.
You really can't.
So I give you a good warning beforehand.
Yeah.
I also try to understand that things happen in terms of lateness.
Yeah.
That's how I deal with that.
Yeah.
Life has been life.
Oh. Say it again.
Life has been
Feel that I had to give the ancestral Humphrey. Yeah.
Life then. And sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
As I said before, since COVID, things been happening even more so. And sometimes you just have to understand, you know what it is. And it really isn't good giving yourself an embolism. It really isn't good.
Because the people who you're getting the embolism over, living their best lives,
normal.
Relax.
You understand?
Sipping cucumber drinks.
Them red free in your head, and I had a carry in the hospital. No.
It's not fair, it's not right.
So what I have learned is to literally just try to relax, understand that things happen, and I try to communicate as best as I can.
Communication.
Because sometimes, another thing we do a lot as Trinidadians is we assume. We love to
Oh, that's not how we supposed to live.
Yeah.
I thought, because that's
like cultural.
I mean,
we like to
no,
do a
it
lot
is
of
cultural.
assumptions.
Yeah.
We do.
Mhm.
And so I'm direct and honest. I'd be like, I really don't want to make my own decisions about what's going on. So if you wouldn't mind letting me know.
Yes.
Or at least let me understand, yes, you're going to be running late, you're having a hard time. So that way, I will take that into consideration. So when I don't have you, I would remember, yes, JL told me she had been dealing with some things, and it's fine.
Because you can't read minds.
Exactly. So that's how I try to deal with it. 75% of the time, it's kind of true. It's 45.
It's pressure in the camp. Yeah. How do you feel about how the arts are viewed locally? I know it's always a loaded question, but every time I have somebody within that sphere in my grasp, I ask. Yeah. Since we're talking about pet peeves, since we're talking about this,
where exactly are we here? It's always interesting to me that when the world shut down, we turned to the artists to help us. But when the world started back working, we forgot all about the artists.
Tell me more.
So during COVID, a lot of people started doing lives.
Yeah.
Free lives.
Yeah.
Literally just because music is healing. Music is powerful. Music is something that expands all borders.
Yeah.
All of these things. So you had people in Italy. There was a Italian singer who just opened his windows and gave the entire of his street a whole concert. You know, there was Vonnet doing shows.
Yes. Every Friday.
There were the versus things that started happening.
Yes.
You know, there was the Digicel shows that they were doing at home. And it was brilliant, and everybody was tuned in every single night.
Well, that's what we're gonna do.
Because we have nothing to do.
Where were we gonna go?
I must say it, because we have nothing to do.
$3.99.
You understand? And we tried, you know, and we struggled, and we worked, and we created, and we did things, and we gave people a sense of, you know, security in the midst of the craziness.
Yeah.
And then COVID stopped, and we opened back everything.
And that was it.
Last place to open was the theaters.
Yeah, yeah.
The performing spaces were the last places.
Imagine that. I never even thought about it. You're right.
You know, there are other things that I can talk about. The fact that creators were given a one-off thing from the government.
A grant?
One. You know, and it depended on a lot of different things. So a lot of them were still struggling during COVID, but they still worked hard at creating.
Yeah.
And I must speak about Trinidad because it always annoys me when I think about it. We have such a rich and diverse culture, so much talent that comes out of here.
Yeah.
But we really don't appreciate the talent. So it's levels, because of what we understand to be entertainment, we only focus on one type of entertainment. So the parties, the zesses, the carnival fetes, these kind of things, or even the jazz events that we have now, is another thing that, you know, people would run to push and do those kind of things. But you have a whole lot of other stuff happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, a friend of mine always says that corporate Trinidad has a responsibility to the arts and to people. Pause for a sip.
Sips tea, sips coffee.
So there are people who have been lucky in the arts, but I must say, if you don't have contacts, you ain't got nothing.
But that isn't that how we, that's not how we live in Trinidad?
No, it is, you know.
We are the system of links.
I will say that there are some extremely talented people who have been able to make it based on talent.
Working hard and networking,
networking. But it's a fact that in this diaspora, this rock,
my mother always says that. She always says it's not just who you know, but it's who's willing to acknowledge that they know you.
And I'll add on to that. It's who knows you and are willing to call your names in names that they would have never been called.
Yeah.
So what we did as in my circle of peers, my circle of creators, the ones that are the people that people now call on.
Yeah.
So we do that for each other. So I would call a name. I'd say, oh, you're looking for that? No, call Jay.
That's how it should be. Yeah.
Call Ricardo, call this one, call that one, because I know they're going to do good.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my only concern which should be that your product should be a product that is going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
Because if you have a brilliant product, then people are going to want to buy it. And we're supposed to do anything that we need to do to get that brilliant.
To get that out there.
You know? So it's yeah, there's a lot of give and take. A lot of give and take.
But it's your love affair.
And as another friend, I'll call her name. Hi, Deidre Ryan, love you, friend. Deidre always says we didn't choose this life. This life chose us.
Chose you, yeah.
I have worked as a customer service rep. I've worked as a personal assistant.
Yeah.
I have worked counting money.
Yeah.
I work in a bar. I work in a wine store.
Money.
I work all over the
Yeah.
place. But I always come back to theatre.
Always come back to
this is
theatre.
This is what I do. This is what I love. This is where I'm grounded.
It's your love affair.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's a great love affair. I don't have to get horn. You know, these are problems, but you know, we work it out.
We work it out.
Yeah.
You work it out.
I really, 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 and I think that's why creators continue doing it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't decide one day, oh, I want music. No. Singing was like, yeah, you.
Yeah.
Drama was like, you. Come.
Do you feel, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Minding not to speak over. I want to bring forward the pet peeves. But would you say that to the extent that people are able to go abroad and, you know, catch that big break or, you know, and those, because they have a different culture. So there's more of a welcoming space for creatives. Do you feel like we would get there? Do you feel like we're heading in that direction even?
I really have to be careful with how I answer. Because I don't need, remember, these people that I want to hire.
You're still living here.
You know. I will say that there are people that are trying to get there. You know, we are trying to level the playing field to make it as fair as we possibly can. I do think we'll get there. I can't say when.
Right. And that's fair.
And the reason I say that is because the arts still isn't seen as a viable industry in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And I'll say why I said that. We have 1, 2, 3, let's say 4 big theaters in Trinidad. 2 of them need work on them. Like actual work. Like they need to shut the theater down and do the work
on it.
So that when people go into these spaces, they don't have problems.
Yeah.
But it's not a priority. So you find that somebody will go into a theater and spend all the money that they're spending and still not be able to get certain things to make their production.
Yeah.
And then in order to get that, they now have to go outside and hire somebody to come in.
Spending extra money.
You know? So it's like, in as much as they say that they want it, they don't make us feel like it, they want it. You know? And that's why you have a lot of our musicians, and I'll call them musicians, or performers, going abroad.
Yeah.
Cruise ships is a big thing for people.
Yes, I understand. I remember when that cruise line came, I don't know, I can't remember the name of it. Was it Royal? One of those.
One of them, and they had the whole set of lines.
All around the corners in North and South.
It was both in Napa and Sapa. Yeah. There is, oh my God, when Lion King comes here.
Yes.
So I work with Glenda Collins, as I said, and Glenda Collins has been the person who has been Lion King's contact here. She doesn't bring them here,
right?
But when they're, I want to be very clear with that.
Yes.
As well. When they are coming, she's there for
contact her.
These are the days that we're looking at. Sort it out.
Yeah. Where could do food?
You know, literally. So we sort out venue, ads, run the audition D, and those kind of stuff. And every single time that they've come within the last 5 years, I believe they've taken at least one person that I can talk about. You know, some of the names that I can call, definitely Janique Charles, who is now Nala on the West End. Or she was Nala on the West End. I think she moved on to something else. There's Kyle Richardson, who is now Simba with the London Touring Company. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. There was a Bajan boy who auditioned here, Rasta boy. Can't remember his name, sorry. But they casted him as Simba. And then when he was finished, he's now touring with Winner Boy. Like he's one of Winner Boy's backup singers. There are a couple of dancers that are out there. So it's not that we don't have the talent.
Yeah.
We do have the talent. When we give our people the opportunity to shine, they win.
Yeah.
Like they conquer this.
Yeah.
So it's always frustrating when you see people fighting it out.
Yeah.
And you know that, but dog, like we got this.
We have it.
Help us now.
Yeah.
Help us help you.
I think a part of it as well is like, and that is also something that's changing but not changed, is how do the older folks who have the children, I mean, it's changing, I think, because millennials are now having children. So we understand that there's no one path to success, that the non-traditional jobs can also be mainstream.
Yes.
Right? So now you have children studying theater art. Now you have children studying dance. Right? Now you have children studying music for CSEC and Cape art. Right? But still, for all of this, like a career day, it's the trickle where will you bring in a dancer, a professional dancer, somebody who has their own dance company? Will you bring in, you know? So I always have to pick up my alma mater. Hold if you come in, Pina, pick up your whole stuff. But with the, you know, my alumni association, we had a career fair was entitled Thinking Outside the Box, right? So we brought in only, you know, a lot of non-traditional jobs and even some of the quote-unquote more mainstream jobs, but that maybe children didn't know much about, like physiotherapists, right?
Yeah.
Like architects, like, you know, you might just kind of hear that in passing, but how many people do you actually know who work in those jobs, right? So we brought in hairdressers because I remember Tion Seeley, he was doing Nadia Batson's hair, right? And it's like, okay, so it doesn't have money in hairdressing because you can't make a job, you can't make a life out of that because, you know, we had brought in Rudy, like, you know, we people like that.
Brilliant. Love it.
So it's like, okay, you don't have to necessarily have your mainstream job and do this on the side. This could be your livelihood.
But you know what? The first part is what we're taught to do.
Yeah.
Like literally from the creators as well.
Yeah.
And I understand why they tell us to do it, because we live in a space where it's not seen as a lucrative something. So I remember when, because one day I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna not work. I'm gonna do this. Yeah. And I started doing, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I was just like, I'm just gonna do stage management. I don't want to work no more. Yeah. And everybody was like, oh, maybe you should get a day job because, you know.
Yeah, how are you gonna pay bills?
I ain't even gonna lie, it was a struggle. Yeah. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, does this even make sense? Yeah. Like, and then you decide, all right, I need to get a job. And when you get a job for a couple months, and then you're like, yeah, but
you're unhappy.
Do this. I really don't want to do this. Yeah. And I had to make a decision. And I was like, yeah, when I came back to Trinidad second time, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna work. I don't want to work in something that I don't want to do. Yeah. This is what I like and I'm good at it. Yeah. So I'm gonna make money out of this. Yeah, when I started doing theater in school, my father was annoyed. Yeah. He's like,
that's
you
not
can't
real.
make money out of this. He's like, there's a hobby. Yeah. But I still went every single year traveling on after 10 after 8 years. I was in the bowl. And then when I got my first job, it was a paying job. Yeah. And when I got paid, I went to my shooting my money. And he still called it a hustle. And for most of the years that I did it, he was like, you know, he started to see that it was lucrative, but he never called it a job up to today. He just
wouldn't acknowledge it.
Job.
Yeah.
It's a hustle. Yeah. Which is very interesting because I literally have a job now.
Yeah.
I doing a monthly salary. Yeah. But he still calls it a hustle.
And it's the mindset, right? It's the mindset of the generation.
Exactly.
It's the mindset of the generation.
You know, so it's you have a lot of people that want to get into it. And you have spaces that you can get into. Yeah. But then you have an entire generation that keeps telling you, but maybe you should do that when you have time. Yeah. And you don't want to be a lawyer.
A doctor.
You don't want to go and work in the police service. That's a government. What kind of...
Stable. You'll get pension.
Good pension when you're done.
Yeah. It's the mindset. It's the mindset shift. Yeah. Yeah. And I look at it now and it's so funny because, you know, you're talking about your dad referring to it as a hustle. But the people with the hustles are the ones making the money. Because, I mean, I have 2 degrees. But I can guarantee you during COVID, nobody cared about their mental health enough to come and pay me. But people were risking it for the biscuit. Yeah. Right? To go and buy the esthetician to get waxed. Right? People Yeah, people were making sure. Well, you know, after things started to open up a little bit. Yeah, I need my makeup artist.
Girl,
right?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that people still used to be going to bars to drink in the evening before anything else was open.
Right? So it's like, you know, those are the jobs now that people could literally have as a full-time business and make the money that somebody with a government work or a private work was, you know, that they were making. So,
funny story.
yes.
Everybody with a government job has a hustle. Everybody with a government job has a hustle.
Everybody in mental health.
Ask them.
People in mental health, we all have one and one job. I guess there's similarities.
Sorry.
Right? Hello.
You know,
it's a lot.
but it is.
Yeah.
It's a. I'm not calling no names.
And just sip this drink right
But
here.
I know somebody who works for the city corporation. That's until 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
You have a whole next job afterwards. So it's very interesting that it's the same people who telling you, well, you need to get something and not have a hustle.
Yeah.
The same people hustle.
And I think because we have that interest in overlap, right? So it's the Generation X, which, you know, kind of made things a little bad for us. Then we went into the millennials, right? So, and then now we have the Gen Z. Alphas not yet, but the Gen Z. So it's such a different mindset that they have. They literally believe, like, even though we were taught, like, you could do anything, you could be anyone, there was still that anchor of just kind of make sure that you could make money and you could take care of it, right? But the Gen Z, they're like, oh, we can literally do anything.
I love them.
We could do anything, we could go anywhere. We could just hold our phone up and talk about stuff and make money.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I love the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Love the Gen Zs, love them now.
I mean, so you're dealing with all of these things. How is your mental health?
Oh, it's in the pits. It's in the pits. I'm not even going to front about it.
It's in the pits.
It's in the pits.
Sir.
With all of the... It is in the pits.
Sir. Yeah.
On a real though,
yeah,
I am still working through it. It's better.
Yeah.
Every day it's better.
I love that.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm great, because I'm not.
Yeah.
But every day I'm a little better.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better than I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm better than I was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm better than I was yesterday. Because now, well, first of all, I made a decision when I turned 40 that I'm not going to take on nothing.
I love that for you.
Literally. I was like, I'm old enough to tell everybody. So I'm not going to take on nothing.
Yeah.
And what that did is that let me start looking at things in a different light.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to the entire identifying things. When you don't get something, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I have gotten into the understanding that sometimes when you hear something in your head, listen to what it's telling you, because it is a directive that is being sent from somewhere else. Yeah. I've embraced my empathness. Yes. If you want to call that a word. And I have been growing, I've been understanding as well. One of the things that I had to understand is that I am human and I can make mistakes, and that's okay, because I'm really
you are not infallible.
Myself.
Yes.
I am the hardest on myself. I used to argue with myself. I used to buff myself.
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh my God, Kevin, that's so stupid. Why are you doing that? And I was in a vocal class with Glenda Collins one day, and I did it, and she's like, no, we don't do that around here.
We don't do that.
She said, we do not beat up ourselves around here.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself.
That's right.
Left with.
Yeah.
I'll leave you all with that. Be kind to yourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's only if you are kind to yourself that you can be kind to somebody else.
So you became aware, and then you actively made a decision.
Yeah. Because again, I don't want nobody to tell me why you're so angry.
Yeah. And look how everything started. That's a horse of a different color. Yeah.
But, and you're right, it's how everything has just come full
circle. Yeah.
You know, so in terms of my mental health, I'm doing better daily. And I love that for me. Yeah. I love that for me.
So what do you do? Because your passion is now your job. So what do you do for, to de-stress? Besides cuss people out.
I want to say I smoke a lot of marijuana.
Okay, you indulge in the marijuana?
A lot of marijuana.
Okay.
So I am a thinker.
Right.
I'm always in my head, which is problematic most times.
Yeah.
Because you think yourself into a bad,
yeah.
you think yourself into a bad situation.
Yeah.
When I was about legal,
when it was about legal,
you know, I was passing somewhere, I'm not going to call any names, and I smelled this beautiful aroma that was being burnt. I went on a hunt. I was like, but what is that? Smells lovely.
I can't with you.
You know, and then I found out what it was.
Yeah.
I knew what it was.
Right.
And I was like, you know, I think I want to try that. And the first time I tried it, I absolutely popped all over myself. I cried. I was freaking out. I had the worst experience the first time. Yeah, I was crying. But then I got over it.
And you're like,
this isn't that bad. So I I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Trinidad, and Tobago. I'm sleep.
Sorry, not sorry.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So I smoke a lot.
Yeah.
And what I do is that I know people are going to say this is an excuse, but I use that time to compartmentalize what's happening in my head. Yeah. So I would literally, whilst I'm be doing this, and I don't need to deal with you now. I don't need to deal with you now. You all can go in the back. I can get rid of you all. This is what I need to deal with in this moment.
But you come back to the things that you put behind.
There you go. Because
that is the big thing. Yeah, a lot of people are like, I'll compartmentalize so I can function. But then those things are still working in the back. And there's a build up.
And girl, I have learned that things that aren't dealt with doesn't necessarily mean they're gone.
Say it again.
Things that aren't dealt with doesn't necessarily mean they're gone.
Factual facts.
I had a mental breakdown for 6 months.
6 months. What did that look like?
In my bed. I was living in Equilibre.
Yeah.
I had a roommate, apartment.
Yeah.
And I was working as a personal assistant at a place in Tacarigua. I'm not trying to be anything. And I woke up one morning and I went to the shower. And then as I came out and I started to put on my clothes, I started crying.
Yeah.
No reason, no nothing. Like, down on the floor, curled in the fetal position. Had to catch my breath. My roommate walked in and he was like, what is going on?
Because you had reached capacity.
Yeah, it was, I had problems up the head.
Yeah.
You know, and he had to call my boss.
Yeah.
And for the next 6 months, I moved from my bed to bathe, use the toilet, and smoke.
Yeah.
I was. It was so. People were calling, looking for me because they thought I was avoiding shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
But that's how bad it was. And I had to. One day I got up and I was like, I don't want to be like this anymore. I really don't want to be this person anymore. And I spoke to my friend who I told you is studying psychology. And, you know, she came over and we had a nice conversation. And one of the things she said was that, Kev, you didn't want help.
Yeah.
She said, but now you want the help. So now we can help you.
I'm so sorry that you had to have that experience. But that's exactly it. I tell a lot of people, because people will call, you know, I'm looking for somebody for my daughter, my son, or for my mom. And I'm like, okay. And have you spoken to them about counseling? No, but I think that they should do it. I said, okay, great. But if they don't want to do it, then they're just going to come, you're going to spend money, and they're going to sit in front of me and not be open. And that's going to defeat the purpose because I'll be spinning top and mud.
Exactly.
So, you know, again, we don't want to just boil it down to you have to make a decision. You know, yes, they have to want to, but some people are so deep in, you know, the recesses, the pits of whatever they're experiencing that they can't make the decision. And they literally don't have the ability, even though they may have the desire. So I want to hold space and respect as well for those who may be in that space and experiencing that.
You are very correct.
And that's why you have friends like yours.
Yeah, because I have to underline. I went and I sat with a psychologist once and then I went back.
It's like a relationship, huh?
I was not in the space at that point to want the help. I didn't want the help. I said that I wanted to get better, but I didn't want to do the work to get better.
Yes.
And getting better ain't easier.
Yes.
It
takes time. And we're not patient with ourselves.
It's not easy because you have to sit and you have to be honest with yourself. That's the hardest thing in a job.
So hard.
It's hard to sit down and say, you know what, Kevin? In this moment, this is on you. And you have to grab this and deal with this.
Yeah.
And it's a hot girl. I don't even want to sit down here and pretend that it was easy. It wasn't easy. It was difficult.
Yeah.
But nothing good comes without hard work.
Yeah.
If you want your body to look better, you just go to the gym.
Attacked.
You know, if you want your hair to look better, you go buy somebody to put some work on it. So why is it so hard to think that if we want to get mentally better, that we do have to work on it?
Kevin, that is beautiful. And I don't think that there's a better place to end.
I know.
Yeah, I don't want this to end.
I enjoyed having this chat with you.
This was so great.
This is not an interview, this is a chat.
Yeah,
and so
well, a chit chat. A chit chat, right? Thank you so much for making this space and time for us. We truly appreciate it. For just giving us that insight into your life and into, you know, another aspect of the arts in Trinidad and Tobago, right? So we wish you all the best. I mean, people can hire you, right? So how are they finding you?
Yeah, they can hire me. They can look for me on Facebook. My name is Kevin Humphrey. That's HUMPHREY, not a F.
Oh God.
I am also on Instagram. If you put in my name, it's probably gonna pop up. But my my handle is honest_. bruTally, because I'm brutally honest. And I won't give my number out here because I don't like people calling me.
Noted with that.
But you can send me an email at my name, kevinhumphreytt. That's tango @gmail.com.
Okay, awesome. And or
follow Chit Chat with 2 Teas and just comment on it and I'm a follow.
Please like, share, subscribe.
There you go.
Right? And comment on the content. And of course, mental health services are available to you through Equilibre, Counselling and Consulting Services, which is my company. Right? So again, it's been another great Chit Chat with 2 Teas. So again, I'm signing off. Thank you, Kevin Humphrey. And I am Jael Valdez, counseling psychologist. And special thanks to The Perfect Bite, right? Because this is a vibe, right? And all I tell you about the quesadilla that I had, that I left half because I didn't want to leave half. I was torn. I wanted to leave half, but I didn't want to leave half. It was vegetarian, and I'm like, how does this taste so good, right? Just like, you know, a medley of vegetables and like mushrooms and.
Can I put you on stage? Can I just put you in a show?
Put me in a show.
She's beautiful.
Right, but guys, The Perfect Bites, okay, and they have so much traffic in here, so you better come before all these things finish. Right, so The Perfect Bite. Thank you to Perfect Bite for having us. Thank you, Sarah and Shannon and friend. Right, we appreciate you. And see. Yay! This was really good.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying.
But I watch you so sadly. How do I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly, but each day when she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead and he's holding tan and young and lovely. The girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes I smile, but she doesn't see. Ladies and gentlemen,